like an ocean liner versus a dinghy.
Just one of those freight ships that's carrying all the shipping containers. Just
put
straight
some,
with the snakes.
Put some like boosters on the back.
Oh my gosh. We're going to be boosting all around Twilight Grove here. Lots of room to move around. Several platforms going on. A lot of different geometry available.
Good reads coming out from Hermison to start the game off. VipR really just trying to get in on top of Hermison, but this is a little bit difficult to do against Spear unless they're on the ground. That aerial coverage from the neutral air can provide a lot of protection for Spear. Oh, and the underspacing on that side, that down sig is something Hermison has to be very careful of, because VipR is going to want to get right on top of him. But those guns, can't really get on top of people with guns except with the downlight for
yeah, and I mean that is going to be one of your main combo starters, so when he's looking for those KOs that can go into the recovery or some of Diana's fantastic signatures. Here we go, now gets to play a little bit of that space. He's got the speed advantage, he's got the range advantage. VipR should be winning this weapon matchup, but you've got to be so careful not to go off stage. Katars can end you in an instant.
Oh, VipR with a nice side air, pushing Hermison off towards the blast zone, still keeping him up on the island. There it is, close on that island. You got to be careful. That blast zone is extremely close, and Hermison taking the fall. VipR still at a pretty good damage threshold right now, holding on to the center of the map using those neutral airs, dodging through the neutral sig. I think that actually would have finished him off if he caught it, but the double side air from Hermison confirming the kill, and now it is his turn to return the pressure.
All right, VipR off the edge. Hermison just wanting to go for the weapon starve, go for the safe, consistent play. Ooh, dodging right through that signature. VipR onto his tactics, but Hermison trying to change up the timing a little bit to catch out those dodges.
Down sig from Hermison again. Oh, into the neutral sig read. That's going to be pretty big damage. Into
the snake pit. They are everywhere, man.
You just can't avoid it. Not even Indiana Jones could get away from that.
He hates them. I bet VipR hates him right now. True to his namesake, how is he getting hit by these snakes? Oh man, Hermison with these Katars getting worked by the bow, though. That damage that he is looking for. I mean, with some of Diana's signatures, you could already say Hermison's in the KO percent.
Hermison trying to space out VipR just a little bit, throwing out the neutral lights from the spear, just throwing out those spacing plays, preventing VipR from getting on top of him, which is kind of interesting to note because the grounded play from Bo is actually going to outrange Spear by just a tiny bit, but then another down sig coming out. VipR trying to dodge in and getting punished thusly, and this is something Hermison just continues to do and is actually extremely successful with. We didn't see him too successful in his first matchup with those down sigs, getting pressured out consistently, but now VipR doing a lot of these dodge-ins, dash-ins, getting just punished a lot by those snakes, and now he's got to get back on the stage.
That might be enough to do it. Oh, gets knocked up by the recovery. Hermison holding on to his stock, but you know what? That's still good because getting sent down to his last stock, but he has a massive damage lead. He only needs to hit VipR once. Queen Nai's strength could close this out with even just an unarmed sidelight.
Even so, as long as your opponent is alive, that gives them any amount of potential to swing the game back into their favor. We could see, the active frames taking it down, the snake pit coming alive.
Man, dodging out towards the end of those snakes, you got to imagine he's thinking, I should have gone up. Should have gone just anywhere but out.
VipR, you know, he's saying right now, get these moving to freaky snakes out of this Monday to Friday tournament.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? So it's... that's all just information. You know, you've got to take your losses, remember what caused them, what was the opponent doing, internalize it, and find the answers. Apply them in the next game.
Well, let's think. What would National Geographic tell you? What would they tell you snakes don't like? You got to bring that to the table, obviously, because Queen Nai is really, really enjoying these snakes that she's throwing out here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if you're going for the Indiana Jones reference, obviously snakes don't like the whips, and Diana's got plenty of those. You've got to shove Queen Nai into the edge guard. She's got the low speed, so her aerial movement is actually a little bit slower, so she's easier to edge guard.
Easier to hit those whips, and the gun's got the big whips too. You got the extra damage, but you got to find that specific hitbox too. VipR now on the bow gets the whip potential if he gets the underspace, but it's difficult to get there. Ooh, but picks up the side sig, of course, into the neutral sig, and Hermison's caught out right now. He can't get back.
Yep, just tossing that
play.
weapon, trying to speed up some of these weapon spawns, but VipR just denying it by juggling real quick.
Huge opportunity play from VipR to confirm that KO, and now takes the advantage in the set. If you can extend this out just a little bit more, great anti-edge guard play from Hermison, but it's not quite going to work out. VipR is going to find the approach through the edge guard, and now Hermison on that spear on a smaller map might, if he can find the connections, it's going to help him. If he can't, it's just going to hurt him even more.
Yeah, I really do like this map pick for VipR, because it doesn't give Hermison as much room to play the range and spacing game as he was. We saw him with those down signatures, those side signatures, even just the spear side airs. He's able to command so much range, so his speed is not as much of a detriment. Here, though, I think VipR's able to dance circles around him.
Well, as long as he does dance circles, because if he does get caught, the blast zones are close. He loses all map control, and it can be extremely hard to get back, especially against a Queen Eye controlling those zones.
Ooh, just scoops up that bow so fast. Uh-oh, there's that neutral signature, just enough to do it. Clean, almost a full stock lead for VipR. This is such a turnaround from the last game.
And you know if VipR takes this down, Hermison's going to get that quick ban onto Miami Dome, because this is not working out for him very well so far.
Do not want to return to this. VipR just landing all these bowstrings, getting under that snake. Absolutely perfect with the punish.
That approach was flawless. Reading out the down sig from Hermison to underspace just beautifully.
Ooh, just under the arc of that spear throw. I was worried that it might interrupt him. Now VipR's just looking to clean it out. You see him starting up all these signatures. He wants to do it with style.
The whip trying to come out. He knows that whip counters those snakes. If he can just control that whip, get that connection, he can get that final KO and take this 2 out.
It's like he's not even really going for too many different options. He just, you know what, sometimes it's not about winning, it's about sending a message.
And that was a pretty strong message there. That message being, don't pick small maps against me, I'm coming at you.
That does tie up the set 1-1 going into the final game 3 here.
Getting things started. Let's see if he bans out Miami Dome. Not yet. He's got 2 more map bans.
Yep. Miami Dome still open. There it is. Last one. All right, leaving Twilight. We're going back to Blackguard.
Well, like we were talking about, that's going to give him more room to move. Just more room to maneuver and backspace against Hermison.
There's a lot of horizontal movement.
But this was VipR's pick at the end. So we'll see how this plays out in his favor, because this is what he's feeling most comfortable on from those picks.
This is just an interesting choice, because there is so much horizontal space. That moving platform on the left-hand side just gives you a lot of different options for recovery.
Maybe worried about some of the horizontal force that Hermison can put out?
Not a bad plan if you're looking to counter that.
VipR doing a fantastic job getting damage built up with those guns, swapping to the bow, maybe looking for a bit of that grounded map coverage right now. Hermison trying to keep slightly aerial right now, just doing short jumps in order to try to control his zones, but VipR doing a great job to try to read out that approach and get on top of Hermison.
He's just getting under these snakes every time.
Yep.
That's like 3 in a row. I think he's got it figured out.
Hermison's going to have to change things up. Maybe do a backdash into a side sig or just neutral light to counter this approach, because VipR is getting on top of him every single time.
All right, no more snake signatures. He had the guitars. Uh-oh, looking for the edge guard. Oh, misses the ground pound. VipR with the punish. Shot off the side.
And
another shot. That's it. First stock going the way of VipR. Hermison looking to arm up, gets the spear. Ooh, you see that? He's capping off that grounded approach. VipR expecting the snake signature, but he just does a fast fall side air to attack the ground.
You know, it's interesting. Hermison might be the one with the snake signatures, but VipR is the one here who is literally the snake. He's got the serpent strike. He's looking so slithery, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's not the right word to use, but Hermison is taken.
I don't know, man. He was looking real slithery right there. He didn't take any damage while knocking out VipR.
Hermison holding that map control right now, throwing out those down SIGs. VipR trying to get those dodge in, jump, neutral airs to try to knock Hermison out of those signature moves. Hermison not really opting for them as much unless he has a lot more room, because he knows if he throws it out, there it is again.
Ooh, VipR finally getting under that one, but you do see Hermison kind of instilling those short hops, looking for the short hop side air to beat that grounded approach, and it's been netting him a decent amount of damage, tying it up at orange.
I think you can actually see what VipR was going for here with the map pick. I mean, the other maps have a lot more middle ground space for Hermison to move across, but this one might be super horizontal in the overall space, but the map space, like the main map stage space itself, is just, I think, a little bit bigger than Miami, though.
Yeah,
but it's not much.
But not as big as Diana's side signature, just knocking him off the side, leaping for days.
It's that huge, just leap shot, multi-shot from VipR here, and even more damage getting built up with these guns, or the blasters. Just fantastic damage-building tools that VipR is shown time and time again his success with.
Man, but Hermison, you know, he found his way out of that pit right there. He's got the edge guard situation going on VipR. Ooh, VipR staying just outside, but the recovery was just enough to do it.
Hermison juggling the weapons, picking up the guitars. VipR not able to get in quite fast enough to grab that weapon. Ooh, plays it very carefully. Knows he doesn't want to all in onto that weapon because Hermison was waiting for the pressure, but they're coming out into that edge guard play. The weapon throw is very dangerous.
Man, VipR has such a good lead, and he's got the range advantage between these two weapons.
But the damage output from Hermison can also swing the game into his favor incredibly
he's got to
quickly.
find the opening.
Exactly, and that can come in a moment's notice.
VipR looking to prevent that. Looking for the signatures. He just wants to close this out.
VipR looking for the approach, getting caught off stage. Hermison looking for the side airs. 2 side airs in a row.
That's the mix-up. Is it a snake? Is it a side air?
Hermison playing much faster right now. He's increased his tempo, and there it is.